7,
8,
9,
10.
Yizzo!
Hey, girl, hey.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Around the Way Curls.
Hi. What's up? What's new? It's crack-a-lackin'. You got an update or two?
I don't. All I got to say is everybody needs to watch Love on the Spectrum. It is should be discussed and reviewed in college classes. It is a study of gender, class, and the construct of marriage and psychology. I love it. I love those people. I see myself in every last one of them, and it is good. It is just so good. Ate it up. That's all I have to say. It's on Netflix.
I would like to say, please check out our merch. We have brand new merch. If you are not aware, our second merch drop has dropped. It is available. We have 5 different kinds of shirts. We got t-shirts. We got crew neck.
We got 3 t-shirts
jewelry,
and crew neck sweatshirt.
We got 4 t-shirts. Mm-hmm. So shout out to us. Bamboo hoops, at least 2 pair. So yeah. And yeah, we're very excited about that. So check that out at aroundthewaycurls.com.
Pew, pew, pew.
In other news, I would like to shout out Kelly Augustine. The first day of Black History Month. She is a stylist for the Star. She's a plus size fashion stylist icon. And she shouted out a bunch of Black owned businesses, fashion, apparel, clothing lines that are either size inclusive or completely plus. And so I just wanted to share with the girlies, I don't know if I can pronounce everything, Zelie, Zelly for she. She has Harbison, Brooklyn Circus, Fen Noel, Christopher John Rogers, Jabiri, that's Jibri, Hanifa, Savant Studio, Something About Sanja, and Pantora.
They got cute stuff too about something about Sanjia.
Oh, it's Sanjia. Apologies.
I gotta get something from there.
So make sure y'all check those out. Run that up. Black-owned businesses, size inclusive or completely plus. And
Hallelujah.
Make sure you check Kelly out. In other news, I know last week I was asking people to give reviews, and I made a mistake of reading them. And I read one. I'm gonna read it because I actually think it's something I want to address. I'm not address it like that, but the review is titled "Annoying." And it says, the ladies on this platform share insights, and sometimes it's refreshing to listen to them. Other times it becomes very annoying when one of the ladies reacts defensive when the other girl doesn't agree with her. It's always a question like, but you don't agree? You think that's okay? I mean, different opinions is what makes people relate. There's also a problem with one of them overpowering the other in conversation and not really letting Shanti speak. The mics usually sound really low. That's something we could fix. And it doesn't help that one of them has an extremely low voice. Their microphone etiquette needs polishing. So I would like to say, this is something...
This was posted?
Yeah, child, Monday.
Wow.
I know. So I would like to say I'm not always going to agree. And I am genuinely asking when I say, but you don't agree? You think that's okay? I'm actually really asking you because you give me a lot of insight when you don't agree with me. But also, this is something that I noticed about myself, and I actually talked about it on Can't Afford Therapy, and I think I said it here, where being on that show with them, with 2 people who you don't have as close a relationship with, you and I have shorthand, you and I go back and forth, so there's a different level of comfortability, excitement, and I definitely could tend to cut you off or want to add something to what you're saying, and jump in, and I'm not letting you speak, right? And it's not because I don't want to hear what you have to say. Sometimes in the girlfriend banter, that's what comes up. Sometimes when I'm passionate, that's what comes up. Not making excuses, but I have been actively working to shut up and let you speak. So I need your help in helping me do that, because I realize that I listen better with people that I am less familiar with, because I'm making less assumptions. With you, I tend to fill in the gaps because I think I know, or I just don't have to be as formal with you. So help me help myself. Heard the review. I'm not gonna agree all the time though, but maybe I can find a better way to not overpower. I don't know, but heard you.
I'm more concerned about the mics. And who the one that got the low voice? I'm the one that got the low
You
voice.
girl, when you tired, you be down here sometimes, but that's all right. I don't know if you have a low voice. I think that you just maybe not projecting as much. But Monty, maybe that's something that you can hear and help us fix as well. But we will, this is good feedback to have. You ain't have to call us annoying, but all right, Mabel. Mabel Sanchez.
Title. Now don't put that child's name out there.
Fucking title said that's probably not her real name. Well, her name is on the review, Mabel.
Uh-oh. Damn.
Mabel said y'all annoying as fuck.
They ain't gonna hear it anymore.
No, she ain't even listening because she said we annoying. But honestly, that's not how it works. Because I feel like the more some folks hate the show, the more they listen. It's weird. But Mabel, I do appreciate that call out, call in. Fine.
Well, another person said we eat too much. So that's another one we gotta do much. She said, I was really into it, but them niggas be eating and it gets on my nerves.
Damn. Can't even eat.
And then she says, I don't like them going back and forth complaining that the other person isn't listening. If they aren't listening to each other, why should anyone else?
Oh my God, where's that? Why are we reading negative reviews?
You listened to 2.25 episodes. She said,
where is that?
But I can't take it anymore.
What review is that?
She said one of us even blew their nose on the mic. We was working.
All right, we gotta do better. All right, well, let's read one nice one. Such a gift. Thanks, High Off Jazz. This podcast is everything! It has made me cry, think, grow, learn, hold myself accountable in life situations, and most importantly, laugh. I love these ladies. So thankful to be a part of the community, and so glad I found this podcast, with a prayer emoji and a heart.
Hallelujah. I love the range. Duality,
baby. Can't please them all.
Hey.
All right, so we got to stop blowing our nose, stop eating.
We'll be sick. Okay? First of all, we're sick.
That's your snotty nose self.
And I'm still showing up here sick. Voice raspy, fucking out my nose. Oh, they gave me thumbs up.
Oh, I have not figured out. And that listener from the Patreon, thank you. She definitely sent me an article on how to get rid of that, and I still don't know how to do it. All right. Voicemails. We're going to get into voicemails now. You ready? Yeah? All right. And go.
Hey, Shanti and Antoinette. It is Tessa. I was just calling in because I just finished listening to the episode with Joelle, and it was a very great episode. But one thing, when you all were talking about people's position when it comes to calling out different issues and concerns and state of the world, it reminded me of the Friend Zones podcast with Dustin, Fred, and Asante. And I think their approach on it is a much more realistic approach, especially Dustin's, where it's like everyone has their own position, their own role, and their own responsibility. And it is no one's job, no matter how much of community that you're in, to call out someone else because of what you think they are or are not doing. Everyone's that may send a post or say they stand with anything, like Dustin said, you're not, just because you say you stand, what are you standing with? You're not in the battleground doing anything. So writing a post, having a conversation is not really moving the needle. That is, you're doing exactly what you say you're doing. You're having the conversations and you're writing a post. So I just think to question someone's opinion or their actions or what they are doing is kind of silly and a little bit intrusive, because you don't know if they're in the background, maybe praying. You don't know if it's somebody that just wants to be silent and let these things pass because maybe they don't have the capacity to even handle such type of events. It's no one's job to put the issue on people to ask them what are they doing or force them to do things. It's not fair, and I think it's very it's ignorant in my opinion. So I just wish that you all would be a little bit more softer with the expectation of asking people what they are doing or having that expectation, because even like what Fran said, maybe she wants to be in the background and be more so on the passive side and not do certain things that everyone else is doing. Everyone has a role, and because they're not speaking on it, it doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. And even if they are doing something, it just because it's not acknowledged, the social media is not, that may not be what they want to use their social media for. So I just think that you all need to just focus on yourselves, and the people that want to be in the same community with you and show up for you, they will absolutely show up and do what you want to do. And the people that don't, that's their right to not do anything if they don't want to do something.
Thank you for calling. I don't know that we were the ones that said that. I think that what I was trying to get at in that conversation was kind of your point. I'm pretty sure that I talked about a previous experience with a friend who checked me about it, and it was helpful for me to understand that point of view. Joel doesn't feel the same way. That's not my place to speak for him, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think a calling in, though, I will push back a little bit. If I am close with someone and I know them personally and I see that they are just like willfully ignorant about a lot of different things, there might be a gentle calling in of like, hey, like, do you see what's going on? Like, and it doesn't mean that it has to manifest in any kind of social media post. I'm not one of these people that believes that, but I do think that there is a level of social awareness required, just so that you can make sure that you're in touch with your humanity, that you're not walking around and it's just so many skews, and that you're just like caught up in the matrix and constantly, what is the word that you were using last week? Detaching from, like, disassociating from reality. Like I know Fran is deeply connected to her humanity. Deeply, which is why she's swinging in her hammocks and watching the birds chirp and needed to get the hell out of this space to be. She doesn't post almost anything on social media, so it's not necessary. You just know it. So I think that's more the calling in that I would have with the people around me. Like, yo, I don't want you to get caught up in the matrix, but like, again, I don't think that's what Shanti and my stance are. I'll speak for myself. That wasn't my stance for the conversation. But I'm also not going to push back on how Joelle feels.
I think everybody is entitled to their own free will. Mm-hmm. Right? I think, though, let's consider what happened with the whole Black Lives Matter and George Floyd incident, mm-hmm. where as Black people that were feeling a collective pain and rage and asking for the collective to, one, at the very least, recognize and show some type of awareness of the harm and the systems that are active and real is really important to change happening, to there being the next step then being hopefully accountability in some way, right? But if you and I feel like it goes without saying that when there was this collective mourning and pain that was happening, it feels like a gaslighting, or it feels like a willful ignorance if the people that have the privilege to not necessarily feel that pain don't acknowledge it at all. And yes, it's their right. And yes, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are in support of,
The
they're a
opposition.
KKK,
Yeah.
member. But it speaks to something that it says something at the same time. It says something. And it also says something when we're doing, people were just putting up those black squares without real knowledge, or there wasn't real awareness, and then it was this performative act of, alliance, which I think is dangerous and hollow as well. But yes, everybody has a right to respond to this the way that they want to. But I think that it is important that those that have the power and the platforms and the courage to, at the very least, share information about it, because I don't think a lot of people, the way that people have been sharing has put Palestine on the map, and has helped to form and help people put the pieces together about the way America in particular shows up geopolitically in the world. And the more that people are seeing these through lines of like, oh shit, they're doing that to Palestinians here, but they're doing that to black people here, and they're doing that to the people in Central America here, by hearing these stories, by hearing people advocate for them, you can then develop a stronger awareness and then feel more energized and more educated to take action. If it's just like these little silos, then it just, it doesn't work. And I can understand Joelle's being passionate about that. Any type of judgment, it gets tricky and gets harmful, but I guess I lean more towards Joelle than anybody, and
I understand.
that's
I
that.
think it's also important to recognize that the harmed in the situation. I think that's the Black Lives Matter is such a great point, because the people who are on the side of the oppression and the harm, oftentimes we may look for them to give us insight, to speak to it, to teach, and it's like those are the people that I really want to offer space to, of like, you don't need to post shit, you need to feel how you feel and like cope. But again, I mean, I know that I have the space, or try to have the space, to speak to stuff. I would love for more people to have that space. I'm trying to be less judgmental about it and not just assume that folks don't care. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, the judgment part.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to assume you don't
on the
care.
other side, then that's not right.
I don't make that assumption, especially if I know that folks deeply care,
Yeah.
So that's a good call. Thank you. All right, next up we have okay, next up is for you.
Hi, this is Jesse from Atlanta. I was listening to the most recent episode, and I was sad to find out that I'm outside of Shanti's area. I don't live in the tri-state area of the West Coast. Now, all the way down here in Atlanta. But just in case you decide to broaden your criteria here, 36. I'm a Leo from Atlanta. No kids. I am poly. I do have a wife. We've been married 3 years. We've been poly for like 8-9 years.
Whoa.
I've been poly, so I would just put my hat in the ring. Antoinette, I did slide at Shanti's DM. So just, I would like to, I would hope that, Shanti would expand her search criteria. But just putting it out there. I love you guys. Everything on the show was dope. I'm waiting for naked news, and I would love a segment for like the Shanti facts. Just a segment where Shanti just tells like random things. All right, love you guys. Keep doing a good job.
This is a great segue into our lovely matchmaker, make me a match. We are having an event, y'all. It's gonna be a time, okay? We are hooking Shanti up with an around the way curl. Now, if you got a friend, if you got a cousin, if you got somebody you like, you know what, Shanti would be perfect for that person. You need to tell them to email aroundthewaycurls@gmail.com because Shanti is ready for love, as you heard. February 19th, 7 p.m. All you need is a computer and some internet. You will be asked questions by me. I feel like I will be able to vet some folks out for her. She will listen to your
That's what
responses.
should be the kicker, is that you should be the one that picks the partner.
Oh, I would love to do that.
That's what it should be.
I would love to do that. Listen, Shanti is a tender Roni. She is living in Philadelphia.
I'm a fucking thug,
She's
dog.
a-
Put some respect on my name,
You're
dog.
ruining this. She isn't living in Philadelphia with her beautiful avatar of a child, single mother, double business owner. What? The Sable Collective, Around the Way Curls. She got a beautiful complexion. She be waking up looking pretty. She don't never had no pimples. Her hair is curled. It is so cute. It's full. She got her little haircut. Nails always done. Leopard bras on deck.
Okay, I got only one, so
She fine, y'all. She fine and she's fun and she's loving. And she a freak joint on the low when she start drinking. So let her raise you up. Let her talk some shit to you, make you feel good a little bit. Make her feel good a little bit. It's all about the reciprocity here. And join us February 19th.
tell me who I have to be to get some reciprocity. Laura Hill was the one that taught me that word. She did.
How long?
That's a
how
big
long,
word.
How long did it take you to look it up? Because we was all saying it like, what that mean?
I don't know, but I know that she's the one that cement. You know when you got to hear it in context, and then you get the confidence to use it in your own.
I know that's
in
right.
your language. I said, Lauren, I know what that mean now.
Yep. So listen, 7 p.m. y'all. Send us an email. Attach a couple photos. Tell us about yourself, and then we'll tell you how to sign up.
But I'm not allowed to see them.
No, so your email needs to read like Shanti Valentine's Day, Shanti Suitor. You gotta explicitly say it, and Shanti, you won't open it. And then we finna get you booed up. Ooh, child.
Shut up.
Why would you talk to me like that? Anyway. All right. We have another voicemail. And I need your permission here, because sis broke the rules. She called twice, Shanti.
If it's captivating, if it's not captivating, I'm gonna boo it after the first one. She can't do the second one.
All right, let's see. Let's see if you made the cut, sis.
Hi, ladies. This is Jay. I'm calling in regards to episode 321, Get Into Your Gut. First off, you guys, thank God for y'all. Like, Antoinette, you are the first person that I've heard talk about feeling dissociated. At the time, about maybe 3 years ago when I started listening to the podcast, back in like 2020, 2021, I realized I was going through the same almost symptom of feeling like disconnected from my body, super numb. I kept saying like, I feel floaty. Anybody would ask me, and I'm very open, I would be like, I just feel so floaty. Like my head is up in the clouds. It's not really attached to my body. Like I don't feel grounded. All of these like,
trendy words right now, like feeling grounded and feeling, like you're on your healing journey and XYZ. And that was when I really got into my own spiritual journey, like prioritizing yoga and meditation. And for some reason, it was not working. So I really hear you guys and appreciate this conversation so much. Also, happy Black History Month. Shout out to you guys also tapping into, I think, a construct that we don't talk about enough in the Black community, and it's the management and regulations of our feelings and our emotions. Shout out to an organization named BEAM, BEAM.org. They're doing some really amazing work in the Black community, training men and women to process their emotions and then help train others in the community. So shout out to BEAM. That was Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. Okay, so aside from that, I literally am so grateful to have this conversation because I realized that the thing that was missing, and Antoinette, you're so tapped in, was my connection to my faith. And I realized that, like, bro, like, you're not waking yourself up every morning. Like, there is a source and a creator and something so much bigger than you, like, bigger than you, who is in the mix right now, intertwined in your life. And you need to root that out and confront that and then deal with that. Deal with some of your worldly issues after you tap into spirit. So one of the mantras that I kept over the summer was, God is my source, my breath is my fountain, I am the flow. And I used to have this like photo on my wall that said, I am the source, I am the flow, I am the fountain. And it couldn't be further from the truth, because you have to realize that you're connected to something so much bigger. All
right, she was just getting into it. Can I keep going?
Keep going, let her cook.
All right, let her cook.
Promised I wasn't going to do this. I can't believe, shout out to you guys. Like, I respect not playing a double email, but a voicemail. But I just wanted to share this last piece, that another tactic has been just in tapping into my faith journey, is realizing when I do want to have that response of bond instead of like fight, flight, or freeze, it's to sit with that fear and shout out to a soul called Joe. He offered, when that fear presents itself, to tell the fear, tell that voice inside of you that's like, you shouldn't say something, or, you don't want to upset this person, you don't want to upset the peace, like, you don't want to be confrontational, to say, I see you, and I'm going to take care of you, but right now, trust me that I've got us, right? And that's me talking to a little version of me who is terrified of upsetting anyone just due to my own, again, you guys hit it right on the head, like my own personal trauma growing up. And so that is what's informed me on how to communicate with everyone in my adult life. And so I love that tactic, though, because I use it now. If something makes me feel uncomfortable, even in the moment when I'm terrified, to say, hey, I don't think that that's right, or hey, I don't fully agree, I take a beat and I let myself know that it's okay, that everyone doesn't have to like you or agree with you, and that if something isn't sitting well in your spirit, your body does tell you. Guys hit this already. Your body tells you there might be a little tingling in your stomach, a little heaviness on your chest, a little knot in your throat. That is telling you you need to shift. Something needs to change. You need to confront that. And so the pattern is that you don't confront it. You probably fawn. You try to meander your way out of the situation or coax the other person, but that is telling you actually need to say something. And the minute that you do, you have to grapple with, okay, maybe I might lose this relationship, maybe I won't, but you'll never know unless you begin to practice and build that muscle of speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself. And yes, it is called being grounded, I think, and being present in that moment. And I think it only comes with really confronting the thing when you see it. Because we get so comfortable not confronting it that creates, it's almost like we're happy not confronting like the situation, and your body gets used to it. So when that presents itself, you start getting numb to even having to confront it. All right, I talked way too long. I love you guys so much. This is such an amazing podcast, such a great way to start Black History Month. Peace.
Yeah, she has some good tools. That's what we were talking about. There's some good tools to pull out when your gut is saying something to you.
It's interesting. I thought when listening to that second time around when she said you have to like stop and tell yourself like it's gonna be okay and like say like, you know, I'm gonna honor this. I always think when I hear that of your birth story with Jolie. And
What
you girl, what? You said what happened?
A lot happened that day. What happened specifically? When I was talking to Jolie?
When you said that you asked everyone to leave the room because she would not come, and that you were like, I gotta talk to her. And you were connected with your baby girl, or you didn't even know if it was a baby girl or a baby boy. You were just connected with your baby, and you were like, it's okay. You can trust me. I'm gonna take care of you. Like, what if you did that with yourself?
Yeah. Oh, I have to. That's part of the tools.
Same.
That's
How
part
we
of
do
it.
that?
You have to notice when the flare up happens. She said, when the flare up happens, what you doing? What you doing? God damn it.
Maybe we could do that for each other too. I don't know. But we 31 minutes in. Oh, what? We gonna get on each other's nerves?
Yeah, who the fuck you talking to? I can't right now. I'm stressed.
Shanti, okay. Yeah, that you. You're just gonna say nice things to me. It's not nice things. You have it. You fucking have it. Shut up. Goofy. Come on, sing to us so we can get to the main topic, child.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop.
Girl, I've been eating well, and speaking of guts, when you eat the vegetables and things, child.
Oh, it's moving.
It is over here. Tooting.
Ain't nothing moving
over here. I wonder if
here.
the mic's picking it up, because I've been over here tooting.
Are you serious?
For real.
Oh my God, they gonna be like, and then it was white girl, she farted.
They are just they too human for me. They too being vulnerable. Grow up.
Oh my God.
I've been eating well.
That's the mushrooms coming up. All right, pray for me on this one. I'm scared.
That's how it was last week, and it turned out it worked. So. What you gotta understand is
let me get the clip.
Follow me now.
I'm like, all right, y'all all right?
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Y'all all right out there? All right. Let's go. We can do this. Goofy. All right, let me just get to the clip.
Do you know the U.S. solar company's nasty little secret? It turns out if you live in New York, they have to give you...
TED Talks do not play when they come to their sound.
Our political conditions became the most racial they've been in the last 50 years.
All right. Oh, God, I'm scared. Brittany Cooper. You ready?
We ain't live, so we can bring it back. You know. You can say
it's a lot. I know you watched it. Was like, now what's she finna do with this?
I was like, oh.
Oh, okay.
It's a time continuum. It's like a guy writing on the wall. I understand that. Oh, okay.
I'm about to be like, what was his name? Doc in Back to the Future?
Yeah. Your hair just starts unraveling more and more.
All right. And we are back. All right, y'all. This might be like baboons, but we...
Nah, baboon slapped.
This might be like back when I was talking about baboons, but I don't think so. I think I paved the way here. All right. I was on YouTube. So after I went to Philly to meet up with Shanti to go to Cole Arthur Riley's event at Uncle Bobby's, and she was in conversation with Brittany Cooper. And we were both like, oh my God, Brittany Cooper is amazing. Want to know more about her. So I deep dived into her, and I knew about her book. What's her book called? Damn, I'm already messing
Something
up.
about anger.
Eloquent
child.
Rage. I think this was called Eloquent Rage. And I knew of that. I haven't read it yet, but I knew of her. And then I stumbled upon her TED Talk, where it's called The Radical Politics of Time. It's like, that sounds really interesting. Let me get into that. And Brittany went in on this TED Talk. She took us on a journey, and she covers how time has a race. Race meaning not like ready, set, go race. Like race meaning like black, white. She's talking about a very, it's centralized to an American experience, I feel, even though it transfers geopolitically, right, with black and brown people and whiteness, and just how whiteness has wreaked havoc across the globe. And I say whiteness specifically because whiteness is different from white folks. You know, whiteness, again, for new listeners to me, is that that kind of belief and security in being at the top of the food chain as a result of your whiteness, and whether you wield that power often, or if you just kind of silently benefit and don't even try to speak truth to power. You know, that's a part of whiteness. So she talks about this, and I'm going to start with a clip because she goes from past to present to future when speaking about time. So I'll start with the clip to set us up so we can get our bearings, and then we'll go into more. All right?
So today I want to offer to you 3 observations about the past, the present, and the future of time as it relates to the combating of racism and white dominance. First, the past. Time has a history, and so do black people. But we treat time as though it is timeless, as though it has always been this way, as though it doesn't have a political history bound up with the plunder of indigenous lands, the genocide of indigenous people, and the stealing of Africans from their homeland. When white male European philosophers first thought to conceptualize time and history, one famously declared, "Africa is no historical part of the world." He was essentially saying that Africans were people outside of history who had had no impact on time or the march of progress. This idea that black people have had no impact on history is one of the foundational ideas of white supremacy. It's the reason that Carter G. Woodson created Negro History Week in 1926. It's the reason that we continue to celebrate Black History Month in the U.S. every February.
Okay. So hence, you see the tie in the Black History Month. All right, follow me now. So I sat with that and was like, wow, that's interesting. Like, I had never really thought about time in that way. The way I've always thought about time is like my relationship to time running out, but not like my place in time, you know? And so I was like, wow, the concept of having no historical significance is so violent. That is so violent. And it's deeply connected to what I feel is deeply connected to what's happening all across this country and like the world for that matter, right? Because if you control history, you control the narrative. If you control the narrative, then you control one's conditioning. And if you control the conditioning, then you can control the person. Right? So it feels all very well thought out, strategic, and planned. And so I was watching Origin. This is this movie that I keep bringing up that I really want everyone to go see. Please go see this movie. It is the most important movie I've probably ever seen. It's so important.
Wow.
By Ava DuVernay. And it's about the book. It's about the writer writing the book Cast. But it's so much more than that. And if I say anything more, then it'll spill the beans. But there's a part in it where they talk about she's trying to connect the Holocaust, because there's this disconnect, right? Of like, well, what happened to Africans coming over in the Middle Passage is not the same as what happened to the Holocaust victims, Jewish folks in the Holocaust, because Hitler just wanted to obliterate them, wanted to destroy them. America did not want to destroy blacks. They wanted to make money off of them. And now we're in a position where we're, quote unquote, kind of okay and seemingly thriving, which is funny. There was something in that I didn't know in the movie where this author, Isabel, I forget her last name, she discovers, well, doesn't really discover it, but discovers it for much of us because we're not taught it, that the generals and the lawyers within Hitler's organization actually studied the laws that was happening over in America to disenfranchise black folks and put those same kind of things in place there. And so this is like this historical context that you don't get. And this is this controlling of history and time. And again, we're talking about time when it comes to like history, right? So if you are not taught your history, if you have no place in time, in historical context, if you are of no value, then you're pretty much worthless. And you carry that. And so if we don't understand the history and the time surrounding Palestinian rights, right? And the fact that in time, in history, that land was theirs, right? If we don't understand that, then we turn away from genocide. Then we are able to dehumanize them because they have no place in history. They have no offering, right?
Yeah.
We have detached from our own humanity because who are you? You're just there. So a person's group, unfortunately, and this is another thing that I'm unraveling, it's like, wow, our conditioning is like that a person's group, their historical significance, like that place in the world is so deeply connected to how we value them. What have you offered? You know, like I feel like the Egyptians, we know about them because the pyramids are fucking there. You know, like they're there. We acknowledge them. They've tried to make them white, but we know that they were there because this stands in time. Which is why these historical markers are also so precious to so many folks, because you have to be able to keep hold of this.
Yeah.
And so we have compassion. I feel that human beings have more compassion for folks who produce something, who have this historical meaning, who have this offering. You know, we honor and admire and feel indebted to those kind of folks. We can humanize them and forgive them, you know, in all their complexities, like a Marvin Gaye, tricky, but we can honor him because there was an offering. There's a historical context to him. Martin Luther King, tricky, historical context, offering. You can't take away that offering. Michael Jackson, huge impact, right? You can't take away his time. He is a staple in time. Even Barack Obama, still tricky. He deported a ton of people. He was over there bombing folks. There's historical context there. So it's not lost on me that there are people that are flawed, right? That there are people that are tricky, but because they have this offering, because it's so difficult for you to tell me a different story about them, you know, we have this compassion and we honor their humanity. So what I'm getting at is, if you don't honor their humanity, if you take away their history, if you take away their narrative, if you take away their place in time, then you dehumanize them. How brilliant is that?
You erase them.
You erase them.
Not do fuck dehumanize. You can
You
erase
erase them. You
Yeah.
erase them.
Yeah.
So even this philosopher, and I should have stopped. She had the name on the screen when she was talking. This philosopher who said Africa has no place in our historical context. You erased a whole continent. You erased a whole, like, it's not even a group of people. It's millions upon millions of people and their traditions and their lineage and their legacy and their offering. You erased it.
And everyone's connection, right? Because Africa is the origin of humanity, dog. Like, what are you even saying?
It's deep. It's
Silly.
deep. This brainwashing is deep. So then you have this, like, okay, so we're going to erase your history. We're going to deny you your historical context. We're not going to honor it. And so then that leaves so many Black and brown folks that's in disarray, because then you gaslight them and you or us, and you tell us that we're stuck in the past when we bring up the present. Mm-hmm. When we bring up what's happening and we correlate
post-racial.
it.
Yeah, we're post-racial.
We're post-racial. I literally have that written right there. We're post-racial. How are we, America, how are we post-racial when you've never accepted that we were racial? Mm-hmm. We've never been pre-racial. Mm-hmm. How? So then you're like, whoa, I'm gaslit. You're telling me that my history is not real. You're telling me that my present is not real. And what the fuck? And so there's William Faulkner is famously quoted for saying, the past is never dead. It's not even past. And then there's Professor Christy Dotson. She says that our memory is longer than our lifespan. And that sat with me. And I'm in my woo-woo phase of listening to my Cole Arthur Riley, Get With My Ancestors. And I was thinking, like, oh my God, our memory is longer than our lifespan. The past is never dead. It's not even the past. And I'm like, yo, what you can't deny of the history, what you can't deny of our historical context is the traditions. All of that history is in our bloodline. It's in the DNA. What was Kendrick taught? It's in it. It shows up in our food. The history shows up in our food. That's why you weep. What's the show on Netflix when you watch it and you say you weep? Mm-hmm. What is that show?
That is
Chef's something.
Chef's Table.
Because they're showing you the through line of the Middle Passage, of Jim Crow, of slavery, of all of these traditions, of how we've adapted and created these beautiful, rich traditions from a history that's so untold. It comes up in our music. Why are we so connected to beat, to rhythm, to drum? It shows up in our dance. It shows up in our religion. Sadly, I mean, when I was in Ghana.
Sadly?
Yes, when I was in Ghana, and I'm in I'm in the actual dungeons where you can still see the line of which the bodies were stacked. You can see the stains across this huge dungeon. The chapel is on top. They would listen to church, to white Jesus being preached. And look at us now. All of that context forms us. And it even shows up in our parenting. How much unlearning are we doing? How soft parenting is coming to be because people are recognizing that some of our parenting has been this way because folks are terrified from the plantation, from the Middle Passage, from Jim Crow, from police brutality. It shows up in our hopes, our dreams. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you talk. I'll shut up. Even our goals, white gaze. I had to stop and think to myself, how many of my goals have been because I need to show them? I need to show them. How many goals has it shown up for me that, like, it's in our bodies is what I'm saying. Like, all of this memory passed down from our ancestors is so the fuck in us. Like, our bodies reek of this oppression. Our bodies are full of our ancestors' hopes and dreams, but damn it, their fears and struggles are in there as well.
Mm-hmm. It's epigenetics. It's a scientific thing that trauma is passed down genetically. It's real.
But that's the other thing. It's not just the trauma, right? It's the whole, and that's where Cole Arthur Riley comes in, where I'm like, oh, it's not just the trauma, it's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's the crevices of which, you know, where she talks about being
it's the
crouched.
Faith, the magic, the perseverance, the resourcefulness, the love.
You know, like
magic, child.
Our ancestors still had family. They still had community, even in these conditions. Mm-hmm. So it's wild to me. It's like, whoa, what a fucking paradox to live in. That's crazy. And we're all doing it and functioning, kind of.
I think similarly that that same phenomenon is not just for Black people.
No.
Either. It's for white people as well. So the same...
talk about it.
That same, I don't know, privilege, superiority, cognitive dissonance, guilt, shame, fear, all of that is, damn, we got both of it. Oh. Mm-hmm. It's all up, is all up in there, child.
All right. I'm gonna go on to, y'all still there? Y'all all right? Is it too woo-woo? I'm going to go on to present because I just got to get the right clip. 1 second. All right. So now we're entering present. So that was past.
Did you know that top 25 universities like Harvard, Yale, and Columbia don't even require SAT scores during admissions? Yeah, it's true.
But still, let us press our way into the present. At present, I would argue that the racial struggles we are experiencing are clashes over time and space. What do I mean? Well, I've already told you that white people own time. Those in power dictate the pace of the workday. They dictate how much money our time is actually worth. And Professor George Lipsitz argues that white people even dictate the pace of social inclusion. They dictate how long it will actually take for minority groups to receive the rights that they have been fighting for. Let me loop back to the past quickly to give you an example. If you think about the civil rights movement and the cries of its leaders for freedom now, they were challenging the slow pace of white social inclusion. By 1965, the year the Voting Rights Act was passed, there had been a full 100 years between the end of the Civil War and the conferral of voting rights on African American communities. Despite the urgency of a war, it still took a full 100 years for actual social inclusion to occur. Since 2012, conservative state legislatures across the U.S. have ramped up attempts to roll back African American voting rights by passing restrictive voter ID laws and curtailing early voting opportunities. This past July, a federal court struck down North Carolina's voter ID law, saying it, quote, targeted African Americans with surgical precision. Restricting African American inclusion in the body politic is a primary way that we attempt to manage and control people by managing and controlling time.
Okay. So then she goes into talk about time masters versus space keepers. And a professor, Sharon Holland, asked, when a person who exists in time, what happens, excuse me, when a person who exists in time meets someone who only occupies space. And so Brittany goes in to talk about those who control the flow and the thrust of history. Those are the world makers, right? Those are the people who own time. These are the white folks, is what she's saying, the powerful white folks. And then you have, so when you take away a group's history, they cannot master their own time. They can only take up space and occupy it. And so the disenfranchised folks, we are not entitled to the space that we're occupying. And we're damn sure not empowered to even master our time. So we're, like you were talking about, this DNA, that past, shows up in our epigenetics, ours and white folks. And so it made me think about, what are all the times of which I feel like I'm being treated as though I'm just taking up space instead of being a master of my present time, and that being really acknowledged. It shows up when we walk down the street and they don't move out the way. Like little things like that we call microaggressions. I don't even know if it's an aggression. It's literally just, you don't exist. You are not factored into my world. You're just taking up space. You're not considered in our future, in my progression. You're not considered, because how could you be considered in my progression if my progression is rooted and founded in your you being disenfranchised? You can't exist on equal footing. And I was like, yo. So when you're being gentrified and moved out of your space, it doesn't matter, because you're really in our space.
That's why. Yeah, this is our future that we can see clearly and can be made manifest. Get out the way. Look at Palestine and Israel.
Yes. It's everywhere.
I think it's important though to be distinct about it being a whiteness as an ideology.
That's
right?
what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because poor white folks, and again, this is what Origin gets to. That's why I want everybody to go see Origin. I am talking about whiteness as an ideology, and whiteness as an ideology you don't always have to be white to practice whiteness.
No.
To be real clear.
No.
To be real clear. This is a social structure as well. Go ahead.
And I think about what would be under the whiteness ideology, or what is the sister holds the hand to it, is capitalism, and the way all of us have our time ripped from us in a way, or the time is distorted. Our perceptions of our value and productivity often are always associated with how much time we put into something. Oh, I didn't put enough time into it. My time is running out. These life markers that all of us are in a lot of ways enslaved to, whether it be college or marriage or kids or all these things that are associated with time, value, control, decisions, but most importantly, time and value. All of us, white, black, Puerto Rican, or Asian, are like, has us gripped by the neck, child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. I think another aspect is this concept of them telling us when we will be free.
No.
You know, freedom now.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Not yet. Too fast.
We have this legislation. We got to pass this. We got to do
have to
this.
wait.
This is
Right.
the protocol that it happens.
Progress is slow. We must
4 more
persevere.
years.
Change gonna come. It's coming. But, you gotta wait. So this thing, it's so interesting how they weaponize the time into making us more docile. This slow march to progress is used to justify their assassinations, their violence, their discrimination, and their oppression. And then the history is turned on its head because we're then exalted and celebrated for how well we endured the violence that they were inflicting. So it's like, freedom now? No, not yet. Change gonna come. Just keep persevering, y'all. Also, your history is not real, but also good job for waiting and being patient while progress is slow. Like, what? There are so many conflicting narratives. It's like literally like you're in a time loop or warp. Like there's like it's like Kang came in the fucking Marvel universe and fucked up the timeline, and like everything's astray. Do you understand? Am I being weird? Yeah. Okay. I can't tell. And I have here like the micro examples are the 9, like this. Okay, all right. So, like, yes, freedom. We gonna give you freedom, but just not yet. So here's this 9 to 5. We know that y'all are overworked. We know that y'all underpaid. So here goes this pizza party. We're gonna figure it out soon. I'm gonna take you out to eat and tell you what a great worker you are. I'm not gonna give you a raise, and I'm not gonna ease up your workload. But good job by you. Progress will come. Well, just not yet.
Your hours. This person's hourly labor is $7.50.
Speak to it.
This person's hourly rate is $350 worth.
Speak to it.
Person,
yeah,
a motherfucker making $1 million every minute. Like,
hello. Here's these taxes. Yeah. Good job. You paid your taxes. I know that it's going to fund war and genocide, but here's a tax refund because you overpaid a little bit. It's like that little matrixy, like, here, so many skews. Don't look behind the curtain.
4 more years. Another 8 years. We gotta.
Right.
Well, it'll change then, but we gotta.
Yeah.
Have all these things in place.
Here's Black History Month, even though your history is being whitewashed all over the fucking country. But take this Black History Month.
Erased, dog.
Erased.
Like they're erasing it.
It's like, whoa, this is all very strategic and very clearly laid out. It's actually kind of brilliant. It's awful, but it's so brilliant and effective. Do you have anything else to add to the present? All right, now we're going to head on over into the future. Let me go ahead and get my time together now. Monty, please take all this scrolling out while I find the stuff. King, please. Also, you're supposed to tell us when you come on the podcast. We ain't forget. All right. Another ad.
In a really dense urban area that can support having a Whole Foods and Erewhon, you're kind of out of luck. For millions of Americans who live in middle America, or maybe do live in a place that has some options, but they can't afford it the way that we live in the prime market, instead of having the expense of retail.
Qualities will take their toll, and housing will continue to be unaffordable.
Okay, now.
So if we're really ready to talk about the future, perhaps we should begin by admitting that we're out of time. We Black people have always been out of time. Time does not belong to us. Our lives are lives of perpetual urgency. Time is used to displace us. Or conversely, we are urged into complacency through endless calls to just be patient. But if past is prologue, let us seize upon the ways in which we're always out of time anyway to demand with urgency freedom now. I believe the future is what we make it. But first, we have to decide that time belongs to all of us. No, we don't all get equal time, but we can decide that the time that we do get is just and free. We can stop making your zip code the primary determinant of your lifespan. We can stop stealing learning time from Black children through excessive use of suspensions and expulsions. We can stop stealing time from Black people through long periods of incarceration for nonviolent crimes. The police can stop stealing time and Black lives through use of excessive force. I believe the future is what we make it. But we can't get there on colored people's time, or white time, or your time, or even my time. It's our time. Ours. Thank you.
I don't know what to say, child. I don't. I'm like, for real, I don't. I'm woo-woo, but I'm like, what is our relationship? I have questions here. What is our relationship with time in this context? Do we even know who we are when it comes to our place in historical time? Do we even know what we're doing when it comes to our place in historical time? Are we in control of our narrative? Like, how do we control, or how do we prevent our time from being stolen from us?
Oh, I mean, time for me, quantum physics. Time isn't linear, right? The past, the present, and the future exist at the same time, quote unquote. Right? So like there's that where you can the possibility of going back in time and the present moment affects the future, and the ways in which all of those things play and are in relationship, I think is magnificent. And the more that we sit with that, I think the more we can, I don't know, have a different relationship with time. I think it's really important for us to, I think death, you can't talk about any of these things without speaking about death for me. Because there is going to be a time for all of us individually that this particular experience, personal experience that we're having has an expiration date. And so the use of our time, the exploitation of our time, the use and the exploration of our time is really, really important, and something that really changes, I think, how we show up in the world and how we allow our time to be used. And I feel like white ideology does a really good job of distracting us from how important our present moments are, right? How important and how finite in a lot of ways our time here is. And we are all like doing this weird goal-oriented thing, especially with America, of like, this is my age, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is my, I don't know. I can't disconnect that from like work and how we value family, how we deal with community. I just feel like the white ideology, which I can't separate from capitalism, robs us so much of our appreciation and our present and our ability to be present, because everything is the future. Everything that we do is goal-oriented for the future. I got to do this now so that I'm good in the future. Everything is set on this partner that I have, this kids, this security, this happiness, the body, the everything is always in the future. So we have to slightly suffer or slightly be disassociated or slightly, betray ourselves constantly for this like future trip that we're all on, which robs us of the essentials of like community, being present, doing shit that you love, that's pleasurable. Going back to our episode or what the young lady talked about before, being really present in our body so that we are in communication with something. Like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I have to like act. You know how many times you're like, I can't do this because I'm going to run out of time. I don't feel well, but I have to go do this because, or whatever. Or like you're having a wonderful time with people. I have to leave. I have to end this because of time. So I don't know. We're fucked up. I don't know, child. I don't know.
What about the historical context? Like, what about your narrative? Do you feel that? Because that was very helpful for me. Seriously, do you feel in control of your narrative? You, Shanti, who you are, like what your place in time and history is.
I feel very fortunate that I feel like I do have some control over my narrative. You know, just even today. No, like I'm less attached to this idea of legacy. Okay. Like in this big Martin Luther King, Obama, Oprah, Mother Teresa type of way. I don't feel in any way attached to that, but I feel very attached to I have to do things that feel right to me. I have to do that. So, and that has a lot to do with how I spend my time. And I'm constantly combating that because oftentimes it's in contradiction to what quote unquote I should be doing. But I think that's how you like hack the shit. I think time is an incredible way to hack this shit. I do. I don't know.
You do know. Don't say you don't know, because you do know.
But I was just sitting, like, just the fact that we're able to do this, I don't know, I think is an amazing, it's hard. Yeah. It's exhausting, but it feels like, I often am like, oh, this is amazing. I was at a cafe talking to a friend today, drinking coffee, like, just talking, and at one moment, she was like, this is dope that we get to do this, and I was like, I know, that is dope. And it had to do with just, like, time, in a way. I don't know, but I think it's really scary. I have two feelings. I think it's really... It's scary that, again, this white ideology thinks that it is the master and maker of, what did she say? History and worlds. But I also think just what Cole Arthur Riley and epigenetics proves is that no, there's this through a line of like hope and resistance and truth that just cannot be erased because our bodies don't fucking lie to us. They just don't. Like, they just don't. And I feel like black and brown people inherently are like, or often have gifts. Yeah, they often have gifts or their relationship with I even think of like dance. Black and brown people's relationship with their body in comparison to white people is like night and day. And that relationship has to connect to communication and like a deeper knowledge, a deeper connection of some way that you can't erase the memory. You can't, it just... Maybe we don't have the intellectual history, but like there's something else that can't be erased ever. And it goes both ways. Like white people's shame and fear and all that shit. Like, you can't escape it, dog. No matter how much you have, no matter how much you wreak havoc, that fear that drives you and eats you alive a little bit and fucks shit up, like, you can't escape it by more. Until we all get along. I don't know. Is that what she said at the end? Until we all realize we're one
No, that's not what she was saying.
being?
She's saying that, I don't think that's what she was saying. I think she's saying that you don't get to own it. You don't get to own the time.
Nobody
She's saying
does.
white people owns it. Right, we don't either. It's interesting. I don't have any conclusions here, folks.
What's your relationship
I
with
don't
her?
know. I have no conclusions here. I don't know.
You
I'm
can't answer
processing
me
it.
this one? Okay.
I don't think so. Not in this context. I don't know that I can. What I do know is I do feel like I do feel like I don't feel like I just occupy space. But I don't know if that is what she was saying. I don't know if we feel it. I think that they feel it. They feel it. We don't feel it.
They perceive us as the occupiers.
Or yes, they perceive us as that. And I'm doing an audit on the different scenarios I'm in, or whether or not I feel that I'm being perceived that way, like tolerated. Okay, you're here in my space. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is there is historical context in our DNA, and you and mine specifically is very interesting because we have white folks, we got black folks, and it's all in there. And so I'm also auditing what spaces do I walk in and think that people are occupying space, and I'm controlling the time. And that is scary to me. And I hope that it's not many spaces or spaces at all, but it's something that I need to sit with. I think I don't know how to, on our small scale, sometimes it's just small scale. We are going to keep telling our truths. We're going to keep talking about our history and our impact. Our being black and brown folks, women, just the oppressed. We have to keep being truth tellers and historians. Griot. Like it's so important, because you look up and it'll be as if you're erased. I refuse to be erased. That's what I know. And I refuse to stand by idly while others are.
And I think we just can't be. I think that in just energetically, spiritually, it's impossible. Maybe the specifics, right? But like there's something there. They'll try to do it.
I mean, that disconnect, and we're going on, but that disconnect of our history, the fact that there is a whole country of folks where the majority of black African Americans cannot identify their lineage past a certain, that is a real pain point. That is a real deep wound.
Yeah,
I don't know who my people are. I don't know where I come from. What I know is that I come from slavery, which is not real.
Which is not real?
Well, I'm saying the idea that that's where everything started. So many people operate that way. That's how we're taught as well. The disconnect between us and the continent is crazy.
Well, girl, the fact that white people or the ideology of white people thinks that they are so disconnected from their heritage and origins of Africa and blackness is the real fucking mind fuck, child. Is where the disassociation and the cognitive dissonance is just glaring. That's the psychosis right there. I don't know all that, but I know I'm black. Like, I know I'm from Africa. But you niggas? What? All you niggas is my sons.
Go and sit on the potty. Actually, I'm anti-Nikki. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Apologies. Anyway, y'all still there?
I can't wait for the next review. I don't know what the fuck.
They was talking about the time continuum. They was talking about epigenerations. Like I'm playing epigenetics. Listen, it's tricky over here.
No,
next week we'll have something like.
Fuck that! It's getting weirder and weirder, dog.
You want to keep getting weird with me?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, let's get weird about. It's Valentine's Day, so we should talk about like something sexy. You trying to get weird? I don't know what we would talk about.
Don't make me upset.
What? Okay.
I have nothing sexy going on. Very
I know.
much. Okay.
No, we gotta talk about. You look like the meme with a black guy where he was like. They're writing a review right now, and then they start crying and wailing in the mic. No, we'll figure it out. I think that we should talk about self-pleasure, girl. Have we talked about that too much? I don't know what to talk about. Valentine's Day. Good luck. Anyway. We're done.
Fuck that. I'm going out. I'm going with Amanda. Amanda be making reservations where I want to go or not, and I
love it.
Like, I made a reservation for 3. It's me, Precious, and Amanda. Dynamic dude. We're gonna start risen and figuring out how to rob these niggas.
Where y'all going?
I don't know. She just be texting me like,
you better get dressed up.
For Valentine's Day?
Hell yeah. You better woo yourself.
I want to straighten my hair.
Do it.
Let me borrow your chi. Mail me your chi iron, dog.
See how you are? Child. All right.
I gave that away. I had a pro-black fucking militant ass moment, and I was like, I don't want this in my house. I paid a lot of money for that.
Chi irons aren't even that girl anymore.
Then who's the girl? I keep asking y'all, and nobody's telling me.
It's a $600 Dyson hair dryer.
Goodbye.
I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's what all the girlies talk about. Let me see. And it's got all these
nope.
Air wrap. I don't know, something like that. The
pictures they be picking of Mitch McConnell is intentional.
Why are you looking at Mitch McConnell? Is Tina Turner? Is that picture still up of her?
No. Everybody Google Tina Turner
right now.
Why they do that? We need to sign a petition. Take that down.
They did. They took it down.
Okay.
Because that was rude. Mitch McConnell is literally yellow.
But he's always like.
That's how he is.
He got that butthole mouth.
Okay. Time to go. Say it. Peace to the gods.
The old and the new.
Bye.
I missed that picture of Tina though. Where is it going? There you go. I gotta see it.
Was that okay?
I think it was.
For real?
I think so.
I put it together last minute.
I
said, Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. The fact that I gotta do all these fucking clips for Monty, he might get them tomorrow. Sorry. That was a lot of clips in that episode. That's the voicemails, the clips. It was
voicemails.
Voicemails. We can't put that on a shirt. Voicemails. The two of us like.
That's a good dynamic. Name a better duo one though.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that. All right, Sheila. Well, I gotta figure out your.
What did we? Do we have yours recorded that we can just go back and figure out what we did? Or
we
not?
do. We do have it recorded. I don't know how you did it.
Asked him.
The first one was
Is there anybody
that thinks they're in a relationship with you? But apparently, you the poly girl. All the poly men want you.
They think I smoke weed. I'm poly. I'm vegan.
You've already
and
said
I'm
that you don't
insecure.
smoke
Y'all
weed.
perceive me crazy, dog.
Why do they still think that I'm not letting you talk? Fuck.
And then
and then I'm bullying you. Damn.
Probably an old one that they're going through.
I don't think so. I was doing that back in the day. I was not bullying you. If they only knew how you hang up with me and don't call me back. If they only knew.
I have ADHD.
That I am so sweet and tender with you.
I am on the spectrum. Okay?
You want to be on the spectrum.
I am. We all are. No. That's what we need to watch. Girl, look. My makeup ain't fall. You know why?
Why? Yes. What's that?
I got it at Target, girl.
What is it?
A prime set and a refresher, girl. It's 3 in 1. It lasts for 8 hours. I don't know what this shit is on my face.
Cement.
But normally it'd be black right here by now. It still is a little bit, but not as bad as it always is.
This new camera had me looking real white. The other one, I looked a little more tan.
You made you look Puerto Rican?
Voicemails! Alright, I gotta go to bed. This shit was exhausted. Y'all tuckered me out today. My job, girl, the clients did not approve.
They didn't?
A very important thing. It threw every timeline off. I was like...
They said, now you know this wasn't the fuck right. Try again.
Oh my God. Nana's doing something.
What's she doing?
I don't know, but she never on the internet talking.
But hopefully it's a testament to what's in store for
What did she say?
Founder and head designer of Yoichi Couturier. I don't think I've ever spoken to you guys this way before, but hopefully it's a testament to what's in store for 2024. When I first started Yoichi, I just wanted to make beautiful things.
I'll watch it later. That's exciting. Good for her. All right, boo. Boo thing.
I have a talk with Nikki.
Huh? Nikki who?
It's in the jar.
Oh, you saw what I wrote under there?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Nikki be believing in me, so I'm like, let me talk to Nikki, see if we can do something.
Nikki be believing in me.
You're the one I am. Alright, cuz send me some cheese irons. Gotta burn my hair out. Do you know that Mace started Eve's career?
Who?
Mace.
Do we believe it?
It's true. She was stripping and Mace came to the club and she, instead of stripping, she would try to be rapping. And he was like, ma'am, could you please, you're fucking this up for me. You're a rapper. And he was like, come with me. And they went in the car and rapped all night. And that gave her the battery in her back to stop rapping. You know, she
stopped stripping?
Stop stripping. Mace was like, stop rapping.
He said stop rapping. Stop rapping.
Stop stripping. You should be a rapper, Eve. She was like, yeah, you're right.
Why would you do that?
She gonna say he took her in the car. You know, Mace was like, yeah.
How do you know she was rapping?
Because she would go, rather than strip, she would rap. She was a bad stripper.
She would go out on stage. I believe that because she a little afflicted when she be walking around dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
And Mace was like,
So she would go out on a strip club and just start rapping? I love that.
A little bit. She not did enough stripping.
She was like, be on high poppy screaming out of their mouth. I love it. I don't know if I believe that still.
She said it.
So what? She trying to control her narrative. Buy it for me. I need you to get some money. I need you to pimp. I need you to trick with me a little bit. Damn. Come on, girl.
No, I'm trying to, enjoy time. I'm trying to enjoy my time here, brokey. Can't even eat, can't do nothing. Go sit on a bench.
Why would you talk to yourself like that? That's crazy.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. I'm so worried about Wendy. Look at her crying, holding a pillow. She's not well, though. Like, look at her eyes. What's going on with her? What is the medical condition?
Who?
Wendy.
She's not well because of stress.
But what happened?
Because the ways that she has betrayed her body that it has been is trying to get her to bring attention to it. We're going to talk about Gabor Mate because he's going to fuck all our heads up. Do you know that women have the highest rates of autoimmune disease?
Why?
Correlated to the ways in which they suppress their emotions.
Don't tell me that, Shanti. I'm tired.
I don't think you suppress your emotions, Queen.
I think I do a lot.
Oh, really?
Shit, at work? Are you fucking kidding me? I suppress everything. It's horrible. That's part of my job. Everything's fine. Team, we're gonna figure it out. Meanwhile, I'm dying inside.
We ain't doing that no more.
It's literally part of my job description.
All right, I gotta go cry myself to sleep.
Good, don't suppress it. Until next time. We gotta have lighter episodes. Like, next week, maybe we'll do Esther Perel. I asked you all the sex questions.
We did that already.
Well, we can run it back. People be doing stuff again. The fuck? These different questions, I got a new set of cards.
What'd she say?
I don't know. I ain't read them yet.
That's the little freak.
Oh, you know Esther freaky. I love that for her. I think she is. Anybody with that accent. These stills of people beating up white people who did. You remember when white people was acting up and they kept being white and black people was knocking them the fuck out? I'm gonna send you a still. Do you remember that like era where Karen was Karen?
Yeah.
Everybody is posting it and they're like, Happy Black History Month, and it's sending me and I want to post it.
But white people, you're increasing their fear.
I know.
They're like, we're post-racial. Why would you write that?
My aunt saw Origin and she didn't even text me. I told her to text me after she saw it. She did not. I wonder what she thought about it. If she didn't like it, then it's really going to impact our relationship, truly.
Oh.
I just emailed it to you. All right. She was out with her friend. Isn't that funny? I told it's amazing. It's a whole Twitter thread. They're like Happy Black History Month and they just knocking people the fuck out.
Wait, can you get off record real quick?
Oh shit. Yes. Bye y'all.